Awesome. I wanted to do a follow-up video because I'll be uploading a review I made between two mixers. But this follow-up video is just to show you that I was able to figure out how to use the onboard effects. There is a way to do it. So the Yamaha MG10XUF, if you have the effects return at 0, so at unity, and you put it on, there it is. Here's the effects. And then you can switch through all of them. In my opinion, I'm only going to use Reverb Hall 1. That's like the only one that is actually usable. You can't mix them with other effects though. You can only use one. Oh, there it is. So you can only use one. But it works. So I'm really happy. The other thing too, I don't have my headphones in here, but I found out how to use the control room. I don't recall if I did it in the video, but I'm going to do it again. So the control room, how you can, this is how I did it, okay? So I can plug in my interface, have the monitor gain all the way at 100%. I then used a HOSA cable and routed it into channels 5 and 6. And then on 5 and 6, I can actually leave the fader all the way down and then just put the PFL on. And then with the PFL on, I can monitor from the Focusrite, and it's like close to 0 latency. I can monitor desktop audio, Discord, basically anything from my computer. And I can mute it if I want to. And then with that PFL, that's the pre-fade level, with that on, not only can I then monitor Discord and everything that I need to for my desktop, I can then also control room everything from my piano, the microphone, all that stuff. So that's how I've routed it. Currently, I just don't want to, I'm just lazy. I don't want to take this out. I've already coiled this to work with my Scarlett, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But that is an option. So if you want to use the control room feature of the mixer, you're more than capable of doing that. There might be a better solution, like I used to host a cable. I use an RCA in though. So I have mono cables, mono left and right, and it protrudes into or terminates into RCA red and white. And I'll show you that. So as you can see here, we have the RCA input, and then this cable here is coming from the line out. I don't know if they're balanced. I think they are. And that might be why there's lots of static noise. There's a lot of static noise. But as long as you keep the monitor here, the monitor knob for the headphones at around like 25%, you won't hear that. And it's crazy actually how good again the headphone preamp on this is. So just know that if you want to use the control room on the mixer, and you are not using this as the interface, and you're using another interface, that is an option. That is an option. And I'm going to try to figure something out because I have a DAC coming, which is going to be really cancer the more I think about it. I don't know how the heck that's going to get wired. But all I know is that this is an option. So that works. And then again, the pre-fade here. This is the FX return. I just didn't have it at 0. So here's like infinite, like negative infinite, like it's off. And as soon as I start to increase this, there it is. There is our effects return. So that's really cool. I figured that all out. Just want to make an update. Just gonna make sure everything's leveled. We're not gonna go to the main important sauce of this video. And that is this box. Okay, now listen, this box is crazy. I tested it for a little bit and it does exactly what I wanted it to do. This from Technica, made in Japan. Okay, these boxes are basically modular processing units, external modular processing units you can throw in the chain. Now I can see why these are discontinued. We're going to switch cameras here. These are discontinued, and for a good reason, okay? You do not want to use this at all. Like the more I think about it, you don't want to use this. You don't even want to buy these, because you can get processing chains now that have a limiter. It's possible. There's also a trade-off with this, which we'll get into in a moment. But here's their website. They have a bunch of nothing on this. They have nothing except for documentation. So they had a bunch of these units. There was the Unigate, the Unisteep, the Unilimb, and the Unitrap. Now, the Unigate is exactly as what it says. It's a gate. It is a gate. So just like what the DBX is doing right now. Hopefully you can hear that. I turned off my limiter on voice meter. Oh, I guess you can. That's okay. There's a gate on this. And the gate is supposed to help when I'm not talking, it doesn't let sound through. That's basically what the gate's function is. Then you got your Unisteep. So this is a 80 hertz pass filter. So here it is without an 80 hertz pass filter, and then here I am with an 80 hertz pass filter. It's supposed to help with with microphone rumble, like low noise rumble. So if you can hear this when I'm doing this, maybe if I tap it with my nail. Wait, actually. This is with the 80 hertz on. This is with the 80 hertz off. So there's a lot of low noise rumble that can happen when bumping the microphone, bumping the arm, the desk. 80 hertz high pass filter. Super useful. There's also the Unitrap. Now this is a narrow frequency band. It's susceptible to feedback. I'm not too sure about this one. All I know is that, yeah, this is a notch filter. I'm not too sure about the Unitrap, but the Unilimb is what I wanted. Now, I know Shure has something that's kind of similar to this. It's an outboard piece of gear. And it is obsolete. Like you shouldn't buy these unless you get it for a good price, like I did. So, especially for my use case. That's the website here. Okay, yeah. So that's pretty much all I want to show you here. So let's go back. Let's go back to the main scene here. So I got this from Reverb, and this is like basically brand new. The box says otherwise, but this is basically brand new. It came with everything. I already opened this and I already tried it. I just want to open it again. I love the presentation. It was pretty great. So I was surprised. Even comes with the manual. And I'll read this to you so you know why you don't want to buy this. Okay? One of the reasons why you wouldn't want to buy this. Unitools are phantom-powered inline microphone accessories that can be used to combine a channel, gate, and input, roll off the response, add a switch, notch out a frequency, or pad down a signal. Also, the notches. I forgot what the notch is. So if this is your graph for a frequency, let's say you don't want like 8,000 hertz, you can just say goodbye to 8,000 hertz. So that's what the notch is. Totally forgot. Compact, economical, and easy to use, they provide outstanding, reliable performance that would otherwise require a fully equipped accessory rack. There's some benefits to this unit. There's some benefits to the unit. Available in 6 function-specific models, Unitools are intended primarily for use with unit point and similar condenser microphones. Condenser. This is for their condenser microphones, not for these. So that right there, I don't need to read anymore. But that right there is the reason why you don't want to get this. So if you have very expensive dynamics, specifically ribbon microphones, and maybe older dynamics, they are not supposed to accept phantom power, and they can get damaged. This is new. And I'm willing to turn on the phantom power for this, because this is for a condenser microphone. So what that means is that it will let phantom power through. Yeah. There's also some So we have the Unilim. I know the other two that they didn't include in that list on the documentation was the Unimix and also the Unimute. So that was very, very awesome. Very awesome indeed. So, outboard inline gear that is economical and small in some way, a way to include like rack level gear into something small and economical. Now, the only thing I didn't like was, again, that it lets phantom power through. It's going to be a non-selling point for most people. Now, just know that this gear is like 18 years old. This is 2002. I think it's probably older. Not going to be surprised if it's probably older. But there's a reason why you'd probably want this. Now, this is such a specific niche, okay? A specific niche, and also a very specific scenario that you find yourself in, where you're like me. What if you bought an SM7B, one of the most gain-hungry microphones, and then you bought a Scarlett, okay? What would be like the next purchase you're going to make? It might be this unit. It might be the DBX. You might buy the DBX right away. Now, if you buy the DBX right away and you have the Scarlett, you can power this, right? Easy. What does the DBX not have? It doesn't have a limiter. You could have gone expensive. There is DBX units out there, and there is other units, other processing chains, all in one, that do have a limiter. But what if you were like me, weren't educated enough and didn't know those existed? Or you didn't economically have the money for it? Now, that's where this thing can possibly come in handy under one specific use case. I don't have it yet. But what would go on top of this microphone to make the DBX processor even better? It'd be a cloud lifter or a fethead. I'm getting a fethead very soon. If you have a cloud lifter or a fethead, and you know what those are, they're used, there's two versions of the fethead, but they're used to take phantom power and convert it into clean gain. Now that is why I bought this. This allows phantom power to go through. So in my chain, I can include the fethead or a cloud lifter, get 20 plus decibels of clean gain into the SM7B, and I get a limiter as well. Limiter. This is $50. I paid $50 for this. No shipping. Now, the thing is, oh no, I paid some shipping. But the thing is, it's so specific. That's why this is discontinued. Why would you ever need this unless you're using a condenser microphone or you're using, I mean, in broadcast, you wouldn't even have a DBX. I bet you'd have something else with like 64, maybe 70. Why would you need 70? But you'd have way more expensive preamps. This preamp is noisy. It is noisy. Once it passes 3 o'clock, it gets pretty noisy. But this is just kind of hard to pass up on. And if you're a risk taker like me, and I don't even have the fethead yet, I've tried this. Okay, I've actually tried this already with phantom power, and I know, I'm confident, right, I won't suffer any negative repercussions. Only specifically because this is a more modern microphone. Modern microphones, like an SM58, you can accidentally give it phantom power and you won't necessarily be in trouble. I want to add the necessarily, because maybe something happens. What if your unit was not really well wired or something, right? But for me, I have 100% complete faith that this microphone's going to be fine. So we're gonna plug this in. So the unit comes with a knob, and it also comes with an in and an out. Very simple. Inline. That's it. You could actually get the Unimix, plug in 2 microphones, and then you can actually have this in there, and then you know, it can limit both the microphones. Now, these units, I really wish that they sold these still. But there was like one, just like the fethead, there's one for phantom power where it allows it through, and then one for dynamics. So you can use a dynamic microphone with this. But it kind of makes sense why it is reliant on phantom power, because whatever kind of circuitry that's in here, maybe it requires it for the limiter to work. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a sound engineer. You know, I'm just some random guy on the internet. But I have to say that this functions exactly as I wanted it to. And if anything, it's a very soft limiter. Now that's something that's to my ears, that's what I'm calling it. I think it's a soft limiter. I have a limiter on OBS. I turned it off on voice meter. But when I'm yelling into the microphone for the next few minutes, I'll put voice meter up. Let me do that for you guys, so you guys can hear it. You will see it. So let's go. Let's add this as a source. This is actually so bad. You're not supposed to do this on recording your stream, but F it, you know. So we're gonna put the source on for you guys. Wow, it even selected it. So here's the source. Let's just turn off my camera or something. I don't really know how I'm gonna do this. This is spectacular, guys. I love it. I love it right now. We're just gonna add a filter real quick. Let's just add a chroma key filter to ourselves. Okay, there you go. And then we're just going to turn off Google Chrome. Put this in here. You can't really see it now, can you? Oh well, I tried. Okay, that was a worthy try. Just take my word for it. I'll be monitoring the limiter. So I have this cable here, like a foot. This is gonna be my out. So that's in, okay? And that's a nice tight connector. That's how I know this wasn't really used. I don't think anybody used this, because everybody has dynamics, right? So we got this in here. We're gonna bring the camera forward. I really wish I had a second camera. So there's a DBX, right? This cable here, that's on the SM7B right now, is plugged directly into the DBX. So you're not gonna hear me as I unplug this. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. So you can kind of hear me, but I'm yelling really loud, okay? Because this requires phantom power. So this is like gonna be sketchy. We turned it on. And now we have the limiter in the chain. So it took me a while because I just have a bunch of wires everywhere here. I'm going to yell into the mic. Now, I have my meter here. I also have the ring halo meters on the Scarlett, but I also have this that's coming in into voice meter potato. So I'm going to rely more on voice meter potato for this. Now, I don't know if audio quality will change. We didn't do anything to the processing, by the way. Everything's the exact same. Now, get this. If you know what a DBX286S is, okay? I have the drive at 5, and I'm speaking with my excited voice right now. So I really compressed this. We're going to turn this off. All right? So there's some noise. Yeah. Now, the limiter's at minimum. I personally like the limiter at minimum, at this minimum setting. We're going to yell. Ah! Ah! No! Ah! Ah! -1 all the time. Ah! 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 Now we're going to put this at max. Now I apologize to everyone and even my gear. Ah! Yeah, I'm not doing that again. Right at 0. That was right at 0. Ah! Yeah, we're not doing that again. Okay, yeah, that's it. So, imagine. imagine having a limiter in a chain now because your DBX doesn't have it. It's possible. But is it worth it? The fact of the matter is, I'm running phantom power into this, and that's not good. But again, if you have a fethead or a cloud lifter, I always have to fix the HDMI cable on my monitor when I move it. If you have a fethead or if you have a cloud lifter, that could be pretty damn worth it. But it also is assuming that you've already made other accidental purchases or cut corners. Because I would see now, as someone who's already made the purchases, DBX286S is an awesome processing unit. It is really great. It offers the right amount of gain. It has an expander. It has a gate. It can power the SM7B. It's got a low and high frequency EQ and a de-esser. And a compressor, if I didn't say that already. The 80 Hz high pass filter. And you can even just bypass all the effects and go straight using the preamp. It's good. It's a good processing chain. I'm just sad they didn't have a limiter. And the reason why I'm so I really need one and why I'm kind of pushing towards it is strictly because I don't want to overdrive anything else that comes after. I don't want to overdrive the Scarlett. I don't want to overdrive the MG10XUF, like my mixer. I don't want to overdrive anything else in the chain once I process it. Or process it and send it out, which is the source, which is my mic. So I was thinking that I can get away with that. And if anything, it's working. It's working very well. I don't know if there's an audible difference, though. Yeah, I don't know if there's an audible difference using the limiter. I have a feeling that there is, because it sounds a little muffled. To your ears, please comment below and just see if there's anything that you can hear compared to earlier, just using it without the limiter. But at the minimum setting, or maybe like halfway, you can definitely have fun with this. Like, this is at max. Okay, this is at the max. We're not limiting it as much, and then we're just going to turn this all the way down to minimum, and you don't hear a difference. But if I'm yelling, and that's with 5 compression, if I'm yelling with it, it's crazy. It works wonders right now, and it's doing exactly what I wanted. I just wanted a simple solution to having a limiter that is outside. And what's really great is that it's a part of the chain in this sense. And I don't need to worry about it running as a plugin. I don't need to worry whatever. Because like, if it's distorted out here, it's gonna sound distorted in there, in the computer. So there's only so much that you can do. And that is just in my opinion, such a safe bet. Like, if you made some mistakes, like I had to cut corners. I wasn't able to buy the best processing unit that has our rack gear that has like the limiter, the de-esser, a compressor, a gain, and everything all in one, with the best preamps, low noise preamps and whatever. I wasn't able to do that. Right? Everything I'm using is running right into the Scarlett. There's no EQ on, by the way. No EQ. I'm going to put the compressor back to 2. It was at 5 just so you can see hopefully, like, appreciate that this limiter is doing exactly what I need it to do. But again, I'm going to be getting a fethead, and I'm also, I want to get a cloud lifter just to compare both for me, but the fethead economically would be so much better too, because it's cheaper, I believe. I think the fethead is a little cheaper. If you get a cloud lifter, whether or not it's the CL1 or the there's also another version that has like a button or variable control. If you get that stuff, it gets pricey because you have to buy an extra cable. And now let's just say you had a Mogami cable, like the expensive Mogami cables, okay? The only Mogami cables. If you buy those, you might need to buy two because you're going to have a cloud lifter. With the fethead, at least you don't need to worry about that. With this is going to call for an extra cable. It will. But you can go on Amazon and buy the very cheap, like 6-inch or a foot long cables. And that's exactly, again, what I'm using right now. And it sends phantom power. Like, I can't... It's the thing that will stop people from wanting to even go out and find these. I got lucky on Reverb. You can probably get lucky on Reverb and also find another one. Maybe they'll pop up. On eBay, I know that these show up still. And they're pretty cheap. So that's why I was just like, man, it's not that bad of an option under certain circumstances. Like, only, again, if you are using a fethead or using a cloud lifter because they need phantom power for it to work. That is the only thing. But under those conditions, right, you won't be accidentally giving phantom power to anything else. That is what's really beneficial here. So you'll be getting that gain, that boost in gain, but you will not be possibly destroying your microphone's internals. I'm going to run the air on this, and I'm also just going to put my EQ that I normally do. Just going to put everything back to normal. So I don't know if there's a lot more noise that's been added. I don't know if there's additional whatever that goes on. But you probably can't even hear that. That's fine. But I love it. I love the unit. The unit's actually great. It's such a, like, it was such an impulse buy, but I also just needed a limiter. I just don't want to destroy anything that's coming through in the chain. Leading up to the Scarlet, we still get over, you know, like -6 and stuff. But if I'm yelling, oh my God, never -1. So we don't need to run the limiter anymore virtually. And either way, if we're distorting out here, there might be something wrong that's going to get picked up in software. So I just want to be very safe and see. And I think it was a worthwhile purchase because there's no videos of this. Nobody's covered this because that's how old this unit is. And I was thinking that would be really awesome. So if anybody's interested in buying the Audio Technica Unilim, which is the AT8686, they are somewhat available. They're more ideal for condenser microphones. They're very cheap, but they have been outruled. They have been made obsolete because you just do not need these anymore. You do not need these anymore. But under specific use cases, such as having a fethead or a cloud lifter, and you're looking for a limiter, you can get away with this. I wouldn't trust this with older mics. Don't use it with older mics. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Whatever the heck. Yeah, that was a little catch up on the mixer because I found out how to use the mixer now and how to route it back and forth. And then yeah, just a little bit of a sneak peek on the past. Like I can't believe that they stopped making these. Because if they continue to make these, I bet you there is a market for something as simple and small like this, because there's many of us that have just like a decent mic and, well, an industry standard mic, but then a decent interface. And we can benefit from having a few things like this in the chain over time, modular upgrading. So consider, if you are in the same boat like me, you could maybe get away with buying one of these. You could. I mean, I don't know, again, if it colors the sound. That's the only thing that I haven't been able to really notice, is whether or not it colors the sound, or if it makes something sound off. That's the only thing I haven't been able to really pick up on yet. But I like how it works. For something that's this old, it works still. Take care, be safe. Expect another video very soon, because I'll be uploading a lot of videos using either this microphone, the RA20, or an SM5B. So I'm very excited for that.